All right, today we're tackling something that has probably frustrated every single one of us at some point, the small engine. You know, the one on your lawnmower, your snowblower, that generator in the garage. We're going to break down exactly why they give us so much trouble, and more importantly, how you can actually fix them. So let's get into it.
Oh, we've all been there, right? That feeling of just complete frustration, yanking that pull cord again and again and again. You can feel your shoulder burning, and all you want is for the machine to just work. It feels like this impossible puzzle, but I promise you, it doesn't have to be. The answer is usually way simpler than you think.
In fact, what if I told you that one single thing is the culprit more than half the time? It's true. According to the people who fix these things for a living, over 50%. That's 1 out of every 2 small engine failures come from bad fuel or gunk in the fuel system. That's it. It's the #1 reason your machine is giving you a headache.
So let's start right there, with the most common problem, the engine that just won't start. We're going to walk through why this happens, and by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to do.
Okay, first things first, you have to stop thinking of that engine as some kind of magical, mysterious black box. It's not. It's a mechanical system, and once you understand its core principle, which is actually pretty simple, everything else just clicks into place. And at its heart, there's a rhythm, a pulse, that has been powering our world for well over a century.
And that rhythm is the 4-stroke cycle. Pretty much every small gas engine you own, whether it's on your lawnmower or a portable generator, it runs on this absolutely ingenious cycle. You can think of it as the engine's heartbeat. And you know, this thing has an incredible history. Back in 1876, after a failed attempt years earlier, a German engineer named Nicholas Otto finally perfected it. This design was so revolutionary, so game-changing, that it powered the very first cars. And today, it's still the main design in most engines out there. Just amazing.
So how does this 4-stroke heartbeat actually work? Well, it's like a beautiful 4-step mechanical dance. First is the intake stroke. The piston moves down and it sucks in a perfect mix of fuel and air. Second, compression. The piston shoots back up, squeezing that mixture really tight. Third, and this is the exciting part, the power stroke. A tiny spark ignites the mixture, bang, and that explosion shoves the piston down, creating all the power. And finally, exhaust. The piston comes back up one more time, pushing all the used up gases out. Intake, compression, power, exhaust. Over and over, hundreds of times a minute.
Now this whole process has a fancy scientific name, the Otto cycle, named after our friend Nicholas Otto. But really, all it is the science that explains how the chemical energy locked inside gasoline gets turned into heat and then into the actual motion that spins the lawnmower blades. It's the physics behind the heartbeat.
So for that whole 4-stroke dance to happen, the engine needs 3 and only 3 essential things. You need fuel, you need air, and you need a spark. If you have all 3 at the right time, the engine will run. If even one of them is missing, you're going nowhere. It really is that simple.
Okay, let's start with fuel. Your engine is a little picky. It needs clean, fresh gas. Now here's the kicker, the big problem. The gasoline you buy today can go bad, fast. And as little as 30 days, yeah, just 1 month, it can start to break down and form this sticky gunk, like a varnish, that clogs up all the tiny passages inside. And right there, that explains why that 50% statistic we saw is so incredibly high.
Next up, air. An engine has to breathe, just like we do. It needs a steady, clean supply of air to mix with that gasoline so it can burn properly. The air filter is basically its lungs. And if that filter gets clogged with dust, grass clippings, whatever, it's like asking the engine to run a marathon while breathing through a coffee stir. It just chokes and can't perform.
And finally, you need the spark. At the absolute perfect moment, right at the peak of that compression stroke, the spark plug has to create a tiny bolt of lightning. It needs to be a hot, high-energy spark to set off that explosion. But if the plug is dirty or just worn out, that spark is going to be weak, or maybe it won't even happen at all. And if you don't have the bang, you don't get any power.
Okay, so we know the engine needs fuel, air, and spark. Now we get to use that knowledge to play detective. We can figure out most problems just by looking for the clues.
And check this out. This chart basically tells you where to look first. The odds are stacked. Over half of all startup problems are because of fuel. Another 30% of the time, it's a bad spark plug. And that dirty carburetor? Well, that's usually caused by the bad fuel in the first place. So the big takeaway here is, always check your fuel and your spark first. It'll save you so much time.
And this little chart makes diagnosing things even easier. Let's say the engine won't start at all.
Your number one suspect is stale fuel. See black smoke coming out of the exhaust? That's a classic sign the air filter is clogged. It's getting too much fuel and not enough air. What if it starts, but then it just sputters and dies? Well, that sounds like the carburetor is getting gummed up. This guide connects what you're seeing and hearing directly to the problem.
Look, fixing problems is great, but you know what's even better? Preventing them from ever happening. With a really simple, proactive maintenance plan, you can pretty much avoid all these headaches.
This is all about building a simple routine. Some of this is stuff you do every time, like a quick check of the oil level. Other things are just good seasonal habits. Always use a fuel stabilizer. Or even better, for winter storage, just drain all the fuel out completely. And once a year, just make it a habit, put in a new air filter and a new spark plug. They cost almost nothing and prevent really expensive repairs down the line.
And hey, don't just take it from me. The Society of Automotive Engineers, these are the pros. They confirm it. A simple maintenance schedule like this can cut your emergency repairs in half. Half! And it'll save you a nice chunk of change in the long run. It's that old saying, an ounce of prevention is absolutely worth a pound of cure.
So there you have it. That little four-stroke engine isn't some complex mystery. It's a masterpiece of simple, elegant design. Think about it. From Nicholas Auto's little workshop to pretty much every shed and garage on the planet, its simple four-stroke heartbeat completely shaped the world we live in. And the secret to keeping it running is just understanding that simple rhythm: fuel, air, and spark. It kind of makes you wonder, though. This simple engine changed everything. What's the next brilliant, simple design that's going to change it all over again?